All right, let's look at this objective here. Main objectives: gather 500 food, train 21 villagers, advance to the feudal age. All right, let's do that. First off, the beginning part of this is going to go really fast. I will try to explain it, but first, when we get in here, we are going to want to queue up vills. And how we queue up vills is we do shift, click. So we want to shift, and then we use the hotkeys. And the hotkey that I have is Q. So we do shift Q once we hit the TC. And that will queue up as many vills as possible with how much food we have, with a maximum of 5. So each shift click clicks up to 5. And it works for all buildings, for like military buildings and for TCs. But we're gonna start off with that. So we're gonna try to get a good score. TC, shift Q. Task these villas to build this house. Task this vill to build that house. Then we're gonna explore with the scout. We're gonna hotkey the scout on 2. We're gonna hotkey the TC on 1. We're gonna select these 2 vills. Task them with gathering that sheep. Task this vill with gathering that sheep. Task this vill with gathering that sheep. Now, we're gonna keep these sheep away from the other ones, and we're gonna just allow them to have 1 sheep close by, so that when they finish eating, gathering this sheep, they will move on to this one. If we would have placed 2 of them nearby, usually if they're staggered like this, like in a row like that, it's fine, and they'll go from one to the next. But oftentimes, sometimes they get hung up and they will start to eat from 2 of the sheep at one time, and we don't want that, because sheep are called herdables, and herdables have a food decay that throughout their life, after they are killed, they will leach food. So they'll lose food. Let's line up another one here. He wants us to build a lumber camp now, so we'll make sure we keep these villas queued up, and we'll right click the waypoint to get over here, so that when the villa is created, we'll start walking over there. We will hit Q, R, which will create a lumber camp for us. Let's bring these sheep over here. Let's make sure we keep queuing villas. And the hotkey for that is Q. We're exploring with this scout. If we find, say, some deer or anything like that, we can start to push the deer if we wanted to, and that can create us additional food. We're luring this boar, and I'm taking a little bit longer luring this boar because, oh, well, he's gonna, we messed up there. But we want to take 6 vills, garrison them with T, right click, have them shoot twice, then hit T again, and then expel them with G. Those are hotkeys for garrisoning and ungarrisoning them. We do want to build another house with one of the wood vills, so that we keep that population going. We did find some deer over here, so we can push some of this deer. And usually, we want to force drop off food because we want to keep the TC busy because we didn't have enough. Oftentimes, their carrying capacity with the hunt is 35, so they will gather up to 35 food before they drop off. So oftentimes with hunt, you'll have to force drop off, and that force drop off button, you can click them and right click, and then task them back on the object that you want them to work on. But a nice little hotkey, like thing that they implemented into the game, is actually you hit A, and A will have them drop off whatever they are carrying, and then go back to work on that same item. So it's really convenient to hit that A button instead of right clicking. It doesn't save too much time, but it does save a little bit, and it's a little bit nicer. We do want to build that mill as well. So we're going to retask a vill here that is created. These ones will go back to the corpse to gather, but we want to retask them on some sheep because we're a little bit late in luring this deer. And see, there's so many harvesting from one location that they don't even know what to do. So we just pulled a couple of them off. We'll harvest from that. And you know what? We didn't even lure the other boar. So that's why we are a little bit frantic. Each boar has 340 food on it. So it would have been beneficial for us to lure that other boar. And beneficial to build the house. So we're going to get housed here. We're kind of falling apart. But you know what? It's going to be okay. It just explains that we don't need a perfect Dark Age to actually succeed in this. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to be good enough. We only have one on the berries. Usually, typically, we would have maybe a little bit more, but I like to harvest everything underneath the TC first before spreading them out. We're going to force drop off the vills that are harvesting the boar with it, which is A. Now we have 500 food. And then we're going to select this. And we had 3 seconds left. But that is because we didn't have a perfect Dark Age. I've done this one before, and I had 30 seconds, and then I've had 18 seconds. That time, we had 2 seconds because of all the secondary mishaps of not luring that second boar. All right. Let's try it again. 8 minutes, 14 seconds. So we just task these with a shift click, which queues up their orders. So if I told them, like with my scout, if I told him to move here, I shift click, and he will move there. After he hits this flag, he'll change directions and go right here. This flag disappeared because he's already heading there. So we queue up orders. See? And we'll explore this area. We know that because we just did this challenge, where everything is, which would make it a little bit easier to get gold and metal. But we're not going to cheat. We're just going to explore like we normally would. Oh. And then we will come back down here for those deer. But we'll do it without the deer. Because the deer luring is a little bit more of an advanced technique. And not everybody who's starting out will know how to do that. We will keep hitting Q to queue up the next fill. We'll task that to go to the lumber camp so that we can build one there. We have 7 currently on sheep. Typically, we can stick around with like 6. 6 gathering on sheep will allow you to have constant TC production, so you don't need more than that. But we're gonna start luring for that boar right away. We do 1 shot. You want to do like a half second or just a split second before you run away. Otherwise, it will de-aggro and you won't be able to lure it. If you have 6 selected, we will hit T to garrison. 2 shots. And we don't right click to get them out. We want to hit T to target and then expel them out of the TC. If we right click the animal, the TC will shoot it, and we will actually kill it with the TC on that final shot, and we will lose all of that food. We'll go lure this other one. We went a little bit earlier. We're gonna force drop off though. Queue up some more villas here. Usually, typically, if you have 6 to 7 villas, you can start to go lure the other boar at 150 food. But we went a little bit earlier because we had 7 to 8 harvesting from it. Now we have 9 here, so we want to deselect till we get to 6 again, because we might kill it if we do it with more than 6. We want to task this vill to make a mill. With these, we want to queue up some more. With these, if to deselect, you hit Control and then you click, and you can deselect. Oftentimes, towards the end of harvesting the last boar, I like to have 12 harvesting from that boar, but oftentimes you can't fit 12 underneath, so you have to load them up like that. But I only like to do that because then I can task 6 of them with harvesting this sheep, and then the other 6 from harvesting with this sheep. This is only for very greedy builds. And oftentimes, sometimes when they finish eating, they get hung up and don't know where to go, so I right-click to load up commands for them to go to the next one. We're almost there. This is without any deer luring, so it is completely possible to do this. We have 4 here, we have 3 here, and we have 12 here. We're going to force drop off, and then... Oh, we don't have 21 vills. We only had 20. I got confused because the scout counts as one of those population spaces. So this is going to be the final vill. We have 622. We're going to click feudal age. And we had 13 seconds left. We could have had a little bit more, but that's how it is. See, 12 is a little bit too much to gather from one spot. So we'd spread those out.